This is Kicking It with the Clonkies. Follow Sindy and Dave as they work hard, play hard, and give heart. From real talk around the kitchen table to real-life adventures in business and giving back, nothing's off limits. Get ready for stories, laughs, and a whole lot of heart. You're Kicking It with the Clonkies.
Good evening. It's Kicking It with the Clonkies. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Dave. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. It's a Saturday night. We're getting ready to go to a bonfire. And it's supposed to snow tomorrow, but who knows? But we'll dress warmly. It's actually pretty warm in this house. I got a hoodie on. A Sunset Boulevard hoodie.
Oh,
Great
yes,
band here that we
it.
love seeing. They play at Dragon on the Lake. They play at Wildwood. So I'm repping them, and I'm going to stay warm. Tomorrow it's going to smell like a bonfire, but that's okay. Throw it in the wash.
I'm going to wear a big coat.
Yeah. So we're on our way to that, but let's have a little podcast. We got some exciting news, some awesome Sintini news. If you listen to the podcast or if you've listened to Cindy, you know that she's embarking on an amazing adventure of creating her own ready-to-drink tequila-based espresso martini. And I tell you what, since the last time we talked about it on the podcast, there have been leaps and bounds of where you've gone with it. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited that we actually kicked off. I wrote a check, one of the biggest checks I've ever written, to my source, PTI, for prototypes. And they will be making, this is a 3D model, as our listeners, and we're doing a video as well. So you can see the cup. Excuse me, this is a 3D model. I got to give a shout out to Joel's over at the Lake Orion Township Library. They do a fabulous job. They have 3D printing. I mean, an amazing pricing. So I can't say enough. So they provided at least 50 cups for me in a similar bronze material that I love. And then, so we've kicked off the tooling this week. And so, I'm really excited about that. Also, so part of the whole Sintini is finding the right, the heat shrink, the foil, everything, not only the formula, but all the other parts that go to it, the labeling. You know, it's been, so Bev Wrap sent me a heat shrink, a prototype, I would call it, just to show me if it could form here at the middle of the cup, as well as stay on around the bottom of the cup and the top. So
if you're listening to this, the glass, the plastic glass that the single serve Sintini comes in, has like an hourglass type shape, and pretty much anything you get these days has these shrink wrapped labels on them. I mean, we don't even realize
beer,
it because
pop, all that.
Yeah, I mean, when Budweiser's and huge, really mass produced beers, those are printed cans. But you look at some craft beers and locally produced beers, they have a shrink wrap around it, and it really looks, it's much better printing than printing on a can, because I think you only can get a few colors on a can, and it's not as crisp and clear. But this is amazing. I'm looking at this. It doesn't even have anything printed on it. It just has a grid to kind of
it shows
the designer where to lay things out and place it. So, because obviously, you can't see this here. This thing, it looks like it's an hourglass. So you have a Sintini logo that's arched, and we have to make it so it is still arched on this can. So that's exciting. There's so many things. It would be easier to just do an aluminum can, Cindy. Why aren't you doing that?
Boring.
I know. Tell us why. It's so unique. This is so unique, and that's why
how
it's
we
different.
came up with this is I personally cannot open a aluminum can. I break a nail, I chip it, and I get frustrated. Plus, I just don't like to drink out of a can. That's my personal preference. I want something, if I'm going to have a premium drink, I want it into a premium cup.
Absolutely.
And you know what? You just shake, peel, and sip. And that's really, how we came up with it. Again, it'll be recyclable. That's, huge in my book. I really, really want to make sure that we're doing as much as we can to, save the environment. I know plastic's not good, but I really, really want to have a PET cup. I don't know if you guys saw that, but
We had a little flash. Our kitchen lights flash every once in a while.
I
don't
haven't
know.
seen
I
that.
hung them, so that might be why.
I haven't seen that in years. I think somebody's trying to talk to us.
Yeah, maybe. You never know.
I wonder.
They tell us that the lights are
I
flashing.
know.
We'll just make sure we turn them off before we leave.
But yeah, and Dave has done a wonderful job working on my sales presentation, my sales deck, my investor deck. So we're going to have hopefully bottles in hand in about 6 weeks, the heat shrink label. And then I got to give a shout out to Mike over at
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah, at Packaging. And they're out in, I don't know the exact city, but it's in
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, we'll say. I think near there. And I really got to give a shout out to them. They've created this amazing packaging for me with their designers, and we've been working through that. So I just got chills. I should have that in about 2 weeks.
That looks amazing too. Yeah. I mean, even it's so cool to get. It's amazing what we can do these days. I mean, can you imagine doing this in the 80s or even in the 90s, or I mean, hell, even 15 years ago? The technology that, from the design component to be able to 3D print these things. I mean, you wouldn't be able to 3D print this and send it to a labeling company. You wouldn't be able to do it. It would cost you a fortune to do that. So it really is amazing. We talk about AI and how it's going to destroy the world, but there's a lot of things that are actually pretty good. I mean, the speed to market that you can do with some of this stuff is amazing. I mean, it would take years to come up with all this stuff if it was done years ago. So kudos to you. I mean, this was almost a year ago.
Yeah, it'll
right?
be a year.
Tell us a little bit how it all
month.
started. I think we might have talked about it on the pod before, but it's a great story.
Yeah, everybody asks, like, how did you get started? My background is supply chain management, everything from purchasing to program management, logistics, as well as sales. So, really it started at Cabin Cruisers in Rochester, Michigan. And I looked at the waitress and I said, hey, can you have the bartender make me, please, a espresso martini with tequila, a little bit of hazelnut, and please don't give me any cream, dairy, sugar, syrup, none of that. Excuse me. And she's like, I saw her look at me, and I'm like, so she came back with it. I took one sip, just like this. And I'm like, oh, it's fabulous. It was delicious, almost as good as our home recipe. And I said, I looked at Dave, he's sitting across with me, and they have a paper and a crayons that they write down on. And all of a sudden I take the crayon and I go, Sintini. And I draw it in Def Leppard letters, which is my favorite band, but I wanted it to look like that, kind of like lightning bolts of a logo. So I write Sintini. And then Dave had this amazing Robert Graham shirt. It's black and red that I got him for Christmas one year. And I said, that's my backdrop. I want gold lettering, like fancy with the foil, that foil label look. And then, and that's how it came. It was amazing. But then I went home. I had some graph paper, and I had been designing for probably 2 months, designing the cup and trying to make it injection moldable. But then I realized it should be more blow molded. And worked with some friends, Fozzie and Steve Huff, and those guys had helped me with the design. And then I gave it to Zach. He made me prototypes through Dave Masters, and next thing I know, I had 3D models in my hand within 2 months of coming up with this idea, and it was just so exciting.
That's awesome. No, it was. I mean, I remember some of the early renditions of the glass and trying to figure out how to really make it cool and stand out.
Right.
And we thought different things with an S at the bottom and make it look like a real martini glass was a huge part of the creative brief. Was hey, it had to look like, it had to be a sophisticated looking vessel.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
here we are.
I want it to look good. And, a woman's hand, a man's hand, anybody's hands, you just shake, peel, and sip. It's I want it to look classy and elegant. So if you're in first class on an airplane, or you're in a nice hotel and you just got back, or that morning and you just need a little pick-me-up, you know what? You just shake, peel, and sip. As Matt Phillips, I love this. He did it. He shake, peel, and sip. He goes, I could have one of these every day.
For breakfast, right?
For breakfast. And I love that. I love seeing people's face, their enthusiasm. So our next step is getting the tooling in and having a design review next week, and getting the packaging, putting everything together, and then we'll start meeting with retailers and distributors and finding the right partnership, for Sintini.
Yeah, we're still, the recipe, the formula too is
Oh,
still
yeah,
an ongoing process.
You know what? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Dave's been great helping me with this. We've been on our 4th or 5th round with Coppercraft, Craft Co. over in Holland, Michigan. Those guys, Matt and Willer, have been amazing over there, helping us, because we're newbies to this beverage, by listening to podcasts and just really reading and understanding, going to beverage shows in New York, packaging shows in Vegas. We've been busy this year, traveling a lot, but we've learned so much. And my foil source, we're working with a company called, they're over in the UK. It's called Ford's with an S.
Yeah.
Not like the
like
automotive.
we say it in Michigan anyway. Fords,
I think
Chryslers,
I think my
Kmart's,
mom always adds
Myers.
an S on the end of everything. But also, we met with them and talking to them, regarding the lid. So we're coming together. Hopefully, we'll finalize the formula here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have the cups, and everything will be coming together.
No, it's cool. And I mean, I think this is the most exciting thing for me right now, because this is something that I know was a huge thorn in your side, kind of, because we were trying to figure out was it going to be screen printed? Was it going to be a label? Was it, how were we going to get that on that odd looking glass, that there is nothing on the market to compare it to? But heck, when this thing came back, I mean, it's absolutely perfect. I mean, this is solid. It's not going to slide off or anything. So I think that's really, there's so many moving parts in this whole thing, but that really is a huge accomplishment there, to find somebody that really can do that. I mean, that's going to be amazing.
Right. Well,
I can't wait to see it in real life. I mean, you put the real one on there. We have
I have
renditions
chills.
of the label already.
Yep.
We've done it for
Like
months and
this,
stuff, and prototypes of what it's going to look like, and it's not going to look exactly. Hey, that's the way it goes with prototypes. I mean, you gotta keep shipping, right? You gotta keep. It's not always perfect, but you got to keep getting it out there and saying, all right, this is what it's going to look like. No, it's not going to look like that, but this is pretty close.
Right.
This gives you a great idea of what it's going to look like when it's on the shelf, when it's in somebody's hand.
No, absolutely.
But it's really exciting. There's huge progress being made, and I mean, I don't know. Tend to do things pretty quick around here, right? I mean, this is probably something that should take somebody 3 years to do. And
well, we couldn't have done this without Right Hook, and having our marketing and sales background and our branding company, from doing brochures to merchandise, the design. I mean, we have a beautiful commercial printer that can print all our different brochures, as well as our presentations and things like that. And then also doing the labels, and with your background, I mean, you're an amazing designer, and have really made the packaging beautiful. So thank you for that. So we couldn't do it without Right Hook and having that marketing and branding, as well as our horse trailer.
The horse trailer, and I mean, in your knowledge, I mean, in plastics, and and knowing people and having connections in that industry, and your knowledge of drinking.
I know. I know good drinks when I taste them. So I'm drinking a Sintini right now that you made me, our homemade recipe. And so it's exciting. Thank you, everybody, for the loving support. We're going to be having taste tests and other fundraisers coming up soon. So I hope you join us. I'm going to have different panels because we had one for Halloween 2 weeks ago, and had a lot of great feedback. And some people are vodka drinkers, and that's okay. Maybe that's one of the SKUs we'll have next. But right now, tequila, is exploding. It's the next best thing. And if you're going to drink, it's the best alcohol out there for you. So
Yeah. No,
100% agave.
That's what it sounds like. And,
oh my God, we got to talk about Cabo.
we did last time, actually. We talked about Sammy.
No, we didn't.
We didn't talk about Cabo?
So we talked about going to Cabo, but did we talk about Sammy putting my shirt on?
Yeah, we have video of it. Yeah, we put the video in
I
there.
did.
We did talk
Okay,
about it. We
okay.
can talk about it again. I mean,
I know. Sorry,
but
I get so
almost.
excited.
It's funny you said that because I almost said, yeah, and Sammy wore the baseball jersey, but they heard about that. But that,
okay.
But that was odd. I mean, it just, I don't know. You have. This is a lesson, I think, that is good for everyone to hear. No matter what you're doing or whatever, you're gonna have days that are just absolute shit, right? You're gonna have weeks that are down in the dumps, and you're gonna have things, several days that things don't seem to fall into place. But then all of a sudden, click, 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 things happen and things work, and it's just working it, right? It's just, let's talk a little bit about that.
I asked God in the universe that I was like, if this isn't supposed to be, show me a sign, and everything, there's been tests, 2 people said they couldn't do this.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I believe her name's Stephanie, over at Beverap, she's like, I got you. And all of a sudden, I sent her a cup. Within a week, 2 weeks, she's already provided me. Amazing response. They work with Coppercraft over there in Holland as well. And, it's just everything's falling into place. So I believe God, the universe, lots of prayers and, have gotten me here, and that's what I can say.
Tell us a little bit about the guy you talked to way at the very beginning of this. You're doing your research and you're talking to companies, beverage companies that are helping, and the guy painted a picture. I'm not going to name names. And hey, you know what? At the end of the day, he was a blessing, right? Because he kind of set you in stone, to look at it and say, all right, is this something I want? Because you can get excited and stay excited about a bad idea for a long time, right? I mean, you can keep thinking, so you need somebody that comes in and might, cause you to check yourself, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? That's what you need. There's been so many different people. I have 11 to 12 people right now that have reached out just for potential investing. But this, I'm going to name them because you know what? They've kind of let me down through this process. So Eric kind of tells me, I saw his podcast. I saw him on LinkedIn in some videos of how they help beverage companies from start to finish. So I interviewed 4 to 5 different companies, and they all stopped me. They're like, "Oh, you're never going to find a co-packer. Nope, but we'll do it for $30,000 to $45,000." And I'm like, nope, I don't think so.
They're setting you up to fail, and they're going to take your $30,000 to $40,000.
And I'm like, nope, watch me. So we go to the beverage show in New York. I see this Eric. He's like, oh my God, you're here. He's like, and I said, yeah. So I met Veronica, and they hooked me up with a couple people. I haven't heard back from them. I've been emailing them 3, 4, 5, 6 times. But you know what? But that's about the universe, guys. So maybe they weren't my right partner. I'll tell one quick story before we got to go, because we got to go with the Cabo crew.
We got the mushrooms. You can talk about the mushrooms.
And so we were running late in New York to get to the beverage show. And I'm like, I got to have breakfast. I was just starving. And so I'm running there. I know, I was getting a little hungry. But the Today Show, we walk by and they're like, do you want to come on the show? And I see
Willie Geist.
Yep. I love Willie Geist. I watch him every Sunday morning. Love his interviews. And I'm like, let's go. So we go, and I couldn't get enough of it. It was a great segment. And so anyways, I finally get an Uber to get to my where the BevNet show was happening in New York. And I'm running in, I run to the bathroom and I run in, thank God they still had food. But there was only me and one other person, and her name was Danielle. And I didn't know anybody going to the show because it was very expensive tickets. So I'm like, I really want to learn and, go. So I know you didn't go and, but I went there alone. But Danielle changed, and we've been in touch since. And we're talking about how she can help me scale my business. And she worked for, I think, Anheuser-Busch.
Anheuser-Busch, that's right.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
And so she's now on her own doing consulting. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe those guys are not emailing me back because she did, and she gave me the attention and what I needed. And so now she's working on a plan for Sintini, and maybe she's that right partner for me. So everything happens for a reason, I believe. And you know what? They missed out.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, they'll look back someday and see.
Hopefully we still are in contact, and maybe they're just busy, and they want that $100,000 million brand, but that's where I'm going to be. So
they want somebody that says,
Watch
"Oh
me.
yeah, $30,000, nothing. I'll give that to you," and then they're going to ask you for $80,000, and they're going to ask you for $200,000, and they probably want to work with the people that don't mind losing money.
Yeah.
Because they're all about making money, and if one hits, one hits. But
well, you hope.
I don't know, what's your you got a little hashtag that you use that you've been saying a lot.
Watch me.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of tests along the way here. People trying to, a couple knocked me down. I'm not going to talk about the negative. I'm staying on the positive. But you know what? That's what happens, because on your way to this amazing path, you will get tests to make sure you're ready.
You need those people,
And,
I think.
no, I
mean,
know.
really, those people serve a role.
I don't know.
Well, it
It's
doesn't
been a
seem like it
little
when
hard,
you hear it.
but I'm like, yeah.
But they do, because I think they check you. They like say, do they have anything there with what they said?
Yeah. Well,
They
I've
think
been
through it. No, they don't. All right, let's keep going.
Right,
But, I
right.
mean, there are people that have had things that, cause you to pause, and it's been a good reason too.
Yep.
I mean, that happens as well. So,
But I have bootstrapped everything
Yeah.
myself.
Yep.
So I'm, over $30,000 in, just with my own money that I personally have saved, mainly from gardening, my landscape business. That is my fun play money.
Christmas money.
Yep. That I put towards things, and really that's how we funded. But I'm putting myself out there. I'm doing crowdfunding and just finalizing that. So please watch, support us. That is going to be kicking off in the next week. I'm finalizing all the data for that and the videos, and it'll be out there for about 60 days. And this is where friends, family, anybody who wants to help support and fund this. I'm also going to be talking to investors and things going forward, and we'll have all that set up in the next month to two. So watch me.
Yeah, watch you. Absolutely. One thing I want you to maybe talk a little bit about, final thing before we get going. Mm-hmm. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I've had this espresso martini in a can," obviously we've talked about how the difference between yours in a can. Talk a little bit about the experience. You get it in a can. Nobody is going to sip out of a can. They got to pour that into a glass, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
if you're at Pine Knob or any other concert venue, there's not a glass. Right. They might give you a plastic cup that they pour the beer in.
Well, you're not allowed glass at concerts or
so
festivals
they're going to give you
or anything
they're going to
like
give you a
that.
plastic cup, and you're going to drink a martini out of a plastic cup. No,
Right.
So there are so many. It's such a niche. We are spending a lot of time with the taste and the formula, which is obviously huge. It's a very important part.
It's all liquid to lips.
But this has two main components to it. Obviously the taste, the formula, but that custom packaging, and that is what it's really, the custom packaging, because you don't get to taste it at the liquor store before you buy it. So that is the most important thing. You may not buy it again if you don't like it. Just like, we bought every single espresso martini that was out there. We've gone all around. We've gone to our places. We bought them. You know what? I don't want to say anything bad because there's a sweet tooth out there. There are people that like that, and there are people that like espresso martinis with the Ghirardelli chocolate all in it, and the whipped cream, and God knows what else kind of sweetener in there. So much stuff. It's sweet. It's like a hot chocolate, or in a martini with some alcohol in it. But what you're doing is a smooth, clean, tequila based. I mean, it's tequila and espresso, and what I like about it, this is, I gotta tell you an honest to God truth, this is something I would never order. I'd never order martinis. I'm a beer guy, right?
Yeah,
I'll drink some wine with you. We go to dinner. I'll have a wine, maybe a whiskey. I always, I'm having a Coppercraft bourbon here, but I'm a beer guy, and I'm not getting a martini. I've never ordered a martini in my life, but. Where was I going with that? I mean, yours it's
for the taste.
Smooth, clean. The taste is amazing. I love it. I love that balance of, and we were having the party a couple weeks ago for Halloween, and we were all talking about, I taste the tequila, I taste the espresso. I love it when I'm sitting there and I take one sip and I get espresso. I get another sip, I get tequila. It has a great balance, and it just has you almost can taste them separately together. It's the weirdest thing, and I really like it. I mean, I would.
Oh, that's awesome.
I make you Sintinis all the time. And
well, once in a while you have the leftovers.
Once in a while, I'll make one for myself just because I like it. Yeah. I really like it because I love coffee.
Well, espresso martinis right now are such on trend. I mean, they since 2022 they've gone 300%. So it's like the number 2-3 drink right now in America. So, we're on point, we're trending, and it's about the experience and, the moments with friends when you're on a boat, and you want something a little nicer and premium, you're going to reach for a Sintini.
Can't wait to go whale watching in April in Cabo with our Cabo crew and having a bunch of Sintinis on the boat.
Actually, that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
This
one's sponsored by Sintini.
Exactly.
But
we
probably should get rolling, get the mushrooms cooked, and hit the road. So anything else?
No.
We'll have another update here in a couple weeks.
Exactly. Thank you, everybody, for love, support. You know who you are, especially Misty Phillips. The other day, she picked me up for my birthday, and she said, Cindy, don't be scared. You're investing in your future. And I will never forget that. So anyways, love you all. Thank you. It's Kicking It with the Clonkies. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Dave.
Good night.
SintiniMartini.com.
And be safe.
Check it out.